Okay, so here you can see the home page of our ethics course, and the welcome message and the modules are listed here. So the course is set up to be one that will support you in not only learning a little bit about ethical theory, but also one that can show you how to put this ethical theory into practice, into your relationships, and into your work situations. So it's set up a little bit differently. And if we take a look at the modules, which is over here on your left-hand side, you can find my instructor information here. And this lists out my office hours, which is our Mondays from 12 to 2 on Eastern time, where you can make an appointment. And I also have a Zoom meeting room. So if you wanted to just pop in, rather than send me an email or give me a call on the phone to discuss any questions you have, here is that link for you. I respond to student emails within 24 hours. So if you have a question about an assignment, try to make sure that you ask it in a timely fashion so that you're not waiting on my response before a due date. And then your grades and feedback on assignments will be posted within 5 days. So here's how you can contact me. And here's a little bio about me if you wanted to learn more about my background. Go back to modules. You'll click through some of the course essential information and take a look at the course syllabus as part of the orientation process. It'll ask you to load the course syllabus in a new window, and you'll go ahead and do that first before you begin participating in our discussions. Of course, there's a question and answer board. In case you have a question, you can post it there, and your peers will respond there, and I'll also respond there. So the way that the course is set up is that it has learning pathways. So for each module, we're going to be taking a look at different topics. For example, we're going to be evaluating our moral compass in Module 1, taking a look at our way of ethical reasoning, and taking a short non-scientific quiz that's really a lot of fun. Don't expect it to assess your entire personality. It's really just to get the conversation started and to see what your default type might be. And that's something that you can reflect on throughout the course to see whether or not it's true for you. So for each of the modules, we'll have a student-directed discussion. And what that means is that I really won't be jumping in to participate. This is going to be something that you do with your peers. And then you'll have a self-evaluation that you do after you participate in this discussion. So the self-evaluation is a series of questions, and it won't be available to you until after you've posted your initial post and then also responded to your peers. So this is what the self-evaluation will look like. And you'll evaluate yourself by taking a short quiz. And so you'll have time to do this evaluation from Saturday until Tuesday of the following week. That gives you plenty of time to post your initial post, respond to your peers, and then answer the questions. So the questions are going to be a little bit different for each module depending on what topics we're covering, but I'll just give you a brief preview of this first one here. So as you can see, there are 4 questions in the self-evaluation. The first question deals with whether or not the quiz forced you to reflect on ethical situations and some common responses to them. And you would answer true or false here. And then question 2, I tried to determine if the quiz results on my ethical type really did fit my thoughts and behaviors. So this is a very reflective question, as all of them are. And so you'll be doing a lot of self-assessing here. and trying to discover what new thoughts you may have had as a result of the quiz and the material that we covered during the question, as well as some of the responses that you got from your peers, and also your peers' responses to the discussion question. I think you'll find them quite interesting. You'll probably find a lot of similarities and differences between yourself and your peers. And you may want to reflect on some of those similarities and differences to see how ethics plays out in not only your life, but in their life. And that'll help you to understand the different ethical situations that people come across and how they may handle them differently. Question 3 deals with whether or not you introduced yourself to your peers. And question 4 deals with how you replied to your peers. So there aren't a specific number of peers that you need to respond to. What I'm really looking for is engagement in the discussion, jumping on several days out of the week and reading through your peers' posts, really engaging and taking a genuine interest in their points, and trying to build an ethical community in the class. So after you answer those questions, it'll automatically score that and place that in the gradebook for you. The purpose of this self-evaluation is that we really have to be able to reflect on how we're doing in our lives and in our careers. And this gives us a great opportunity to practice these skills. You'll notice probably in your careers, you've been asked to do some version of this, maybe during an evaluation that was given by your superiors in order to progress along your pathway. And so this is something similar. So that is one sort of unique feature of the course. And I'll point out a few more. So after you've discovered your ethical type and we've started our conversation, we'll move into a more group discussion in which you'll place yourself in a group depending on what type of issue you'd like to talk about. So you'll take a little quiz that will place you in a group. This quiz is not scored, it's really just to place you into one of the groups. So you'll answer yes only one time on this quiz. I'll pull the quiz up. The instructions are located here. And so these are our 3 topics. So when you answer yes to one of these, you're committing to discussing either the coronavirus in South Dakota, the Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan equal pay claims, or the Bill Murray and Warren Buffett billionaire discussion on income equality. So depending on where your interests lie, you'll choose yes to what looks most interesting to you. It'll place you into a group with other peers that share that same interest, and then you will proceed on to follow the instructions and have a discussion about one of these 3 topics. So that's a little bit different. It's a kind of a self-sorting process that you may not have come across in previous classes. And I'll probably jump in here and just make some general comments overall and help to guide you in the right direction. Going back to modules, another key thing that I'd like to point out about the class is that we're going to be working on this ethical toolkit throughout the class. This is probably something you've not seen in any other class before, because it's going to be a visual representation of your ethical principles. So your toolkit is going to be put together in a step-by-step manner. Each week you'll be reflecting on different things, and you'll be creating some visual representations of those things. Now, this particular visual that you see here is an example of what your toolkit might look like, but I'll also post some other examples from students that have posted their toolkits in the past so that you can get an idea of some of the different ways people visually represent their ethics. And this will culminate in a final project in week 7 of the course. So you'll have an entire sort of ethical making tool for you to use and take forward moving out of the class. So if you, the idea here is that if you come across a particular dilemma in your life, then you can go back to this smart art and take a look at what you've built, what's important to you, and the values that you have placed emphasis on, and you'll use it as a sort of diagram for decision making. So this will make a lot more sense once we get started on it, but as always, if you have any questions in the beginning, you can send me a message. Overall, students have really enjoyed this piece of the class and found it to be exceptionally helpful in learning about ethics, ethical theory, and how their own ethics have played out in their lives, in their relationships, in their professional career. And I'll be commenting on these discussions occasionally. I'll jump in and make some comments and take a look at your smart art. And then you'll find feedback, of course, in the gradebook for all of your work. Now, some of the feedback in the gradebook I'll just mention is that will be just checkmark based and won't necessarily receive a score, but it'll be kind of, did you complete it? If so, you'll get a green check mark. If you did not complete it, then it would be a black X. And that's just to keep track of some of the assignments and whether or not you completed them. So you'll see here that 0 points were possible, but in the gradebook, you'll get a check mark for completing this. Now this smart art piece, you do not need to comment on your peers' posts. Instead, you will be hitting the like button if you like some of your peers' posts. So we'll be building community and evolving together. So those are just a few features of the course that I wanted to explain to you because they're probably different from what you've found in other courses. But overall, I think that you will enjoy learning a little bit more about yourself, your ethics, how everything comes together. And this is generally a pretty fun course. And I'll be jumping in and commenting on your work and your ideas. Don't take yourself too seriously. And I think you'll find a lot of key, interesting information in here that you can use as you move forward in your own lives, both professionally and personally. And I look forward to joining you and seeing how your work develops over the course. All right. Have a wonderful time. And as always, get in contact with me if you need anything. I will see you in the discussion area.